Belongs to which section? Remove. Okay, this is first class. In the last class, we have discussed about modules, right? How we can create, why we need to create modules. Anyone? What is meant by module? Module is nothing but a collection of functions or variables we can put together, and we will make that one as a module by saving the file as .py. That's it. Okay. It's normal Python file only. In order to reuse whatever the functions we have defined in one Python file, we will be using import. Okay, import that file name. If you give, then we could able to reuse whatever the functions we have defined. Like suppose if you define two functions like add and some definition we have given, and subtract some definition is given, and we have saved this particular file with the extension called, let us say this is module 1 dot py, then this will be considered to be a module. Next, in order to reuse add and subtract functions, these two are the functions, right? Sorry, here we need to have parenthesis. Okay, then in order to reuse these two functions, what we need to do, in any other file we can import it. Import import module 1, right? Module 1, this is what we have to use. Then here normally we can use number input or number 1 input, number 2 input. Then we can call these two functions. Add we can call by passing n1 n2. Okay, so let us assume some parameters are there for add and subtract. Like this we can reuse whatever the functions we have defined, right? That is the intention behind defining modules. Next, we have used already some modules. Okay, what was the module we have used earlier? Math module, right? Import math we have written. Then inside our function, like roots of a quadratic equation, in that we have used sqrt function. So how we have used sqrt? Import math, then afterwards some input we will be taking, let us say abc values, roots of a quadratic equation. For that abc we will be taking as input. Then r1 is equal to minus b plus math dot sqrt of b square minus 4ac, right? By, okay, here we are using math dot sqrt. Did we define sqrt function? No, but we are we are using from this math. That's why we are indicating import math. Then we could able to use it. Okay, and remember, although we are importing, we cannot use directly sqrt. We have to specify math dot sqrt. Okay, we have to specify the module name as well. Okay, and there is a convention that if you specify if you import specifically, then this can be optimized. Sorry, this can be optimized. This math dot sqrt, instead of writing every time math dot sqrt or math dot power, math dot minimum, those functions we have seen in the last class, right? Instead of using math dot every time, what can be done is this, we will be optimizing like this. Suppose we wanted to use sqrt only, then from where we wanted to import? From math. Okay, so from math import sqrt, like this we can specify, so that it is not required to use math.sqrt every time. We can use directly sqrt. Okay, got the difference? If you use import math, then also it will work, but we have to use math.sqrt. But if you wanted to use only sqrt, if you don't want to use this math dot every time, then we can specify from math we are importing sqrt. Okay. In other direction, we can consider it as like in math we can have several functions. In one particular module we can have several functions. Out of those functions, we wanted to import only one particular function or two functions. Then we can specify that particular function, so that that only will be loaded, that only will be imported. Understand? So here from math, import sqrt, only sqrt we can use it. Okay, not other functions. That's what we are indicating. And here we no need to use math dot. Okay. Next, similar to this math, we are having an important module called regular expression. Okay, that is very important topic. I don't know. I think it's not present directly in your syllabus explicitly, but that will be useful for you a lot. Okay, in coming days. Just I will try to give a glimpse of it, because we don't have much time. Just as this is important topic, I am picking that. Okay, regular expression here. As math, we are having regular expression. Regular expression. What is the use of regular expression? Is suppose you consider ABC is given. Okay, ABC are the specified letters. Specified letters with by using these ABC, whatever the strings that you can derive, those are allowed strings. Let us assume by using ABC with these three letters, whatever the strings are the words that can be generated, those are valid words. Okay, remaining are not valid. Okay, for that we have to check. We have to check whether it is following such kind of pattern or not. Okay, and in some context, we should not use any vowels. Let us say we should not use any vowels. That is a restriction. Okay, we should start with one particular word, one particular letter. We should start with one particular letter. We should end with one particular letter. Such kind of restrictions we could able to what you call impose by using. We could able to check by using regular expression, by defining regular expression. Like I can give you one simple example. You are having email IDs, right? Email IDs. Email ID will be having certain format, isn't it? You will be having some letters. Okay, in those letters, all the letters are not allowed. Okay, some alphabets are allowed, digits are allowed, right? Digits are allowed. Any other things? Underscore is allowed. Dots, dot is allowed. Any other? Space is allowed or not? Space is not allowed. Okay, so there exists some format. Afterwards, it should be followed by @ After @ what we will be having? Some domain name. That can be Gmail, that can be IFH India, that can be anything. Some domain name. In the domain name, can we have, in general, we will not be having any letter, what you call digits. We will be having letters. Afterwards, .org, .com, .in, .ac, .in. Like this, we will be having certain what you call allowed characters. So we are having certain format, right? This particular format, how it should be evaluated? That is by specifying the regular expression. Specifying the regular expression. How it can be specified, we will see. Okay, I will try to give you the overview. Okay, I cannot give complete details in this class. Okay, you explore. Just I will try to introduce to that concept. Like these are the set of characters that are allowed. These are the set of characters that are allowed. Then you can specify like this. So what does it indicates is within these characters whatever we have those are allowed. Within these what you call square brackets whatever we have those all characters are allowed. Okay. Similarly, suppose you wanted to use only small letters, okay, lower case letters, then you can specify, you need not specify A, B, C, D, so on up to Z. Okay, you can use hyphen then Z, A to Z. So only small letters are allowed by using this. Okay, similarly, capital letters also you can specify A to Z. Okay. Next, digits you can get by using this 0 to 9. Suppose you consider for mobile number you wanted to create a regular expression for mobile number. Okay. For mobile number, how many digits will be there? 10 digits. Okay. What can be the first digit? First digit will be 9. 8 will be there. 7 also will be there. 6 also will be there. Okay, 6 to 9. Okay, 6 to 9. 6 to 9, any number is allowed. Okay, what about other numbers? 0 to 9. Okay, 6 to 9 any number, then 0 to 9 any number. Okay, how many times 0 to 9 we should have? 9 times. Okay, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9 like this. 9 times. Okay, that can be the regular expression. Okay, by using this particular pattern we could able to derive the valid mobile number. Yes or no? This can be optimized by specifying the quantifier, how many times it can be repeated, how many times it has to be repeated. Such kind of restrictions also we can impose. Understand? So now you consider here 0 to 9 followed by curly braces. Within this curly brace, how many times this has to be repeated, that can be specified. How many times? 9 times. So 0 to 9, from 0 to 9 any one we can pick. How many times? 9 times. So 9 digits we have formed, last 9 digits. What about this one? 6 to 9, only one time. So you can use that 6 to 9, how many? Only one time. This 0 to 9, how many? 9 times. Okay, this is the regular expression for mobile number, valid mobile number we can consider in India. Okay. Similarly, suppose you wanted to specify 2-digit number is allowed, only 2-digit number is allowed. Okay, 2-digit number means it will start from 2-digit number, 10, 2-digit number, 2-digit number. It can be 0, 0 is also a 2-digit number. Understand? 0, 0 is also a 2-digit number. 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 like this, any 2-digit number is allowed. Okay. Like that, maximum 2-digit number will be 99. Okay. How we can write the regular expression for it? 0, 0 to 9. Okay. 0 to 99. 0, 0 to 99. Then this is a different what you call digit, right? Here we can have 0 or 1 or 2 like this. We are having 10 possibilities, 0 to 9. So we can specify individually 0 to 9, 0 to 9. Okay, from this you can take anything, from this you can take anything simply. Yeah, within curly brackets 1 also you can specify. Okay, here we can specify 1, here we can specify 1. Okay. So like this, by making use of this regular expression, we could able to specify the we could able to validate the string whether it is what you call following the pattern or not. Okay, whether it is valid pattern or not, whether it is what you call valid string or not, valid entry or not, we could able to check by using regular expression. Okay, this is very important concept, not with respect to Python I am saying. Okay, this is with respect with respect to computer science, it is important topic. Next, now coming to the point here, since we are having math as the module, we could able to import. Similarly, regular expression, for to work with regular expression, there is a module called RE, which is already present. Okay, like math, we are having RE. What RE stands? Regular expression. Okay, RE. So in order to use this one, we need to import RE. Okay, import RE. So regular expression, we can use it. Now, how can we use this particular regular expression? Is, suppose we are having some string. String contains some text. Let us say next. Now we have to check whether one particular pattern is deriving the string or not, or such kind of searching we have to do. One pattern we will give, like regular expression we will give. Okay, whether it could able to derive this or not, we have to check. Understand? That is what our requirement, right? Like you consider this as another example, like email. Okay, email equal to abc@xyz.com. Is it clear? So, like string, we have email. Now we wanted to validate these two. Okay, how can we validate? Is we are having a function called search. We are having a function called search. As we are saying this as a function, so we will be having parenthesis search. Then pattern we should give. Pattern in the sense regular expression. Pattern is nothing but the regular expression. Then the text, email or string, whatever. Okay, that okay, text. So this particular one, this search function exists in which module? RE. So in order to use that one, how we have to use? RE.search. Math.sqrt. Similarly, RE.search. Then pattern we have to specify, and against what we have to check. That also we have to specify. Now come to this particular one, string we have to string is there. That string is starting with text. Okay, starting with text or ending with this. Okay, or specifically we are having two conventions that if you use cap symbol, in the pattern, in the regular expression, what does it impose is it should start with this particular one. Okay, whatever the character we specify here, it will. Suppose it is starting with T, or whatever the string we have written, that should start with T. Okay, that you can specify. Cap T, that means it will start with T. Okay, it will start with T, then only it is valid. Suppose if you start with some other letter, automatically it is not valid. Okay, how we will check? We will see. Just you consider cap symbol, then followed by some text, means it will start with that. Okay. Similarly, suppose we wanted to end with yes. We wanted to end with yes. Then we can use yes, then followed by $. Okay. Cap means starting with this. $, means ending with this. Next, suppose we can have a character called A for, let us say, star, A star. What does it indicates is 0 or more occurrences of A. A star in the sense 0 or more occurrences of A. Okay, A star in the sense 0 or more occurrences of A. That means whether it is valid or not. Yes, valid or not. triple A, empty is also valid. A star in the sense 0 or more. 0 occurrence means nothing will be there. Understand? So A star means this. Next, A question mark. Question mark in the sense 0 or 1 occurrence. Okay, 0 or 1 occurrence, at most 1 occurrence. So what are the valid ones? A, empty. Okay, as we have seen that curly braces for how many number of times we can have such kind of thing. Okay, that next last one that is dot. Whenever we specify dot, dot indicates any character except new line character. Okay, except new line character. New line character it will not consider. Dot means you can have A, you can have B, you can have Z, you can have 0, you can have 9, you can have at the rate, you can have any other symbol, yes, something like this. Understand? So dot indicates what? Any character except a new line character. Okay, these are some of the things. Okay, there exist several others also, just to explore based upon this introduction. Okay, so now by using whatever the things we have discussed so far, we have to define this pattern against this. Okay, so let us consider for the first one, how can we define? Huh? Re dot search, Re dot search, then pattern cap t, cap t, cap t, comma e question mark. A to Z we can have anything, right? Suppose the restriction that we are imposing here is it should start with T, it should end with S. How can we impose? S dollar. Okay. In between what we can have? Okay, let us consider only these two restrictions. Okay, it should start with T, it should end with S. In between we can have anything. Okay, what we can have? One more time. A star is partially correct. You can improve it. You can have dot. Dot means any letter. Okay. Okay. We can have dot. Any letter. A can be there. B can be there, like this. Okay. But how many dots? How many characters? How many characters? Dot means only one character. Any character, but only one character, right? So 8. One more time. Here the restriction that we are considering is it should start with T, it should end with S. That's it. Okay, we are not bothering about any other thing. Okay, don't consider this also. Okay, just it should start with T, it should end with S. Okay, in the middle we can have anything. Now you tell. In parenthesis length minus 2. No, we are not writing. I am saying we are not writing with respect to this string. We are writing this pattern by considering the normal vertical condition. What is it? It should start with T, it should end with S. This is the condition that we wanted to impose. Now it should start with T, so we are imposing here. Next, it should end with S. That is also fine. In the middle, we can have how many characters? We can have any number of characters. Yes or no? Any number of characters. What characters we can have? Any character we can have. So any character means dot. Any number of times means dot star. So dot star, then yes dollar. So that we are specifying that this is the string that we wanted to. This is the pattern that we wanted to consider. Okay. Against what? String. Understand this one? So you can specify this one in square brackets. Now, if it is following, this particular string is following this pattern, then it will give some result. Okay, let us consider R as the result. Okay, if R is there, then you print a message that valid. If R, then valid, otherwise invalid. No, it will not return Boolean value, it will return some other thing, I will tell you. Okay. But as of now, you can consider it as Boolean. Okay. Next, suppose this is R1, R1, R2 you consider, R2 is equal to regular expression, that is RE dot search of, now you tell for email ID, what is the format for email ID? Dot star, dot star, A to Z, so first letter should be an alphabet, okay, A to Z, A to Z, so first one time we should have, afterwards any number of times any other thing we can have, so A to Z or 0 to 9 also we can have, right? 0 to 9 or A to Z, how many times? Any number of times, then followed by at the rate, then A to Z, how many times? How many times? A to Z, then how many times? A to Z, how many times? One, at least one time we should have, right? X.com, Y.com, like that, at least one time. So, question mark means 0 or 1. Okay, 0 we should not allow, right? In this context. So, A to Z, then dot com, before dot com we can have some letter, A to Z, A to Z star. Okay, A to Z star. Then dot, dot we should have, then yeah, so how we can specify? Use this one. Next, com, right? Dot com or dot in, something like this we can have. Again A to Z, same thing we can have. A to Z, A to Z star. Okay. So this is, similarly you can write it A to Z star. So now what it will return? If it is matching, then it will return correspondingly some value. Okay. If it is not matching, it will return none. Okay, that you remember as of now. So if R2 print valid email, otherwise else invalid email. If R2 print A to Z and 0 to 9. You can write it, no need to, comma not required, directly you can use it. Okay, like I told you this one, right? A, B, C. Okay, here we are not separating. Similarly, A to Z means A, B, C, D up to Z. 0 to 9 means 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, like this. So we can specify the list of allowed characters. Okay, 0 to 9 need not separate. Then you can specify here, na, cap. Then if you wanted to start with That's it. Huh? Yeah, you can specify this one. It should start with I didn't get you. Some particular word only I am giving. This is whatever the word you want specifically, that you can use it here. More than one. More than one means there is one provision I will tell you. Huh? No. Then if you go for randomization, automatically there is no need to check, isn't it? How it will, what character it will generate, we don't know. So it need not, right? What you call regular expression is to validate the string according to the given format. Like email ID should be like this, phone number should be like this, or pin code should be 6 digits, like this. 6 digits, out of those first one should be will not be 0, I think. Okay, like that some considerations will be there. So according to that, whether entry is there or not, to check that we are having regular expression. Okay, there exist some other shortcuts also. Instead of specifying digits, we can use /d. Okay, and if you don't want to have digits, then you can use /D. Like this, some shortcuts are there, but as of now you consider this search, then pattern, then whatever this. Okay, in this pattern we can use so many things. Out of those, some of the things we have discussed. Okay. So what is the function that we have used? Search, right? Search, then pattern, then text. Okay, how we have called? By using re dot. Okay, similarly we are having a function called find all. Okay, it is also similar to search only, but search, what it will do is, if it finds this particular pattern in the given text, it will return correspondingly. Find all means all the occurrences it will return. Find all means here also we will be using pattern and the text, same two arguments, same arguments only we will give. But suppose if you specify AE, let us say AE, where we are having this AE in the given text, all those occurrences will be returned. So it is nothing but a list. Understand? It will return list of all the occurrences of this particular pattern in the given text. Okay, that is the functionality of find all. Understand? Yeah. Okay, about this regular expression, you please explore, because it will be useful. Okay. Yeah. So now, so far we have seen what is meant by module. Okay, and these modules we can have in two different ways, that is predefined or user defined. Predefined or user defined. Predefined examples: math, regular expression. Like this, we are having so many other modules as well. Predefined, or we can say built-in modules. Next, user defined means we can define our own what you call .py files. Those can be user defined modules. Okay, how we have to use? Using is the same, right? Usage is same. Import, then module name only we have to give, then only we can make use of this. Now consider we are having modules like user defined modules only, like we are having for trigonometric functions. What is the spelling? GA, huh? GA, huh? No A, trigonometry. Okay. Trigonometry related functions we will define, let us assume. Okay. And we will store that with tra.py. Okay. Similarly, some scientific functions, some other scientific functions we will be defining, and we will be storing with the module called sci.py. Okay, this is another module. This is first module, this is second module. Third module, let us say logarithmic functions we will be using, and we will be storing as this particular module. So how many modules we are having? 3 modules. All these 3 modules are what you call related to some calculation, isn't it? These all related to some calculation. So what we will do is we can group all these. Okay, we can group all these in one particular thing called package. Okay, whatever the modules we have defined, what is meant by module, you know already. How we can define, how we can use it, all those things you know. Now such kind of modules we can have several, and related modules we can put together and we can make it as a package. So what a package will contain? Several modules, that's it. Okay, so now how can we create a package is like how we have created module, we will be writing the functions and we will save that file with .py extension. Similarly here also, here these all files we are putting in one particular package. Okay, that we can consider as a folder. Okay, in one particular folder you create all these, you put all these .py, all these modules. Okay, tra.py, sci.py, like this. You put all the modules together in one particular folder. Okay, now you may get doubt that how it could able to identify it as a package. It is normal folder, right? How it could able to identify it as a package is, inside this particular one we need to have one mandatory file called underscore init underscore .py. Underscore, it should start with underscore init underscore .py. Okay, this is also normal Python file only. Just you open one small file, just you open one normal file, empty file, you save with this particular name underscore init underscore .py. Okay, empty file only create. Okay, and you put this particular file in this particular folder, then this folder will become package. Understand? Now let us assume package like mathematic is the package name, that is folder name is mathematic. How it can be how it can become package? By placing this file, that's it. Now we wanted to use these modules, so how can we use modules in general? Import tri, import sci, like this we will be using. Yes or no? Earlier we have used. Now in addition to this we have to specify this package name as well. Okay, from where we wanted to use this tri or sci is from mathematic. So from here also we will be using from mathematic. Understand? Just a package in the sense collection of modules. Collection of modules. How can we make a folder as a package is by putting the mandatory file called underscore init underscore dot py. Okay, what we will be having inside is, it is just initialization code. Okay, even without anything also we should have this file, then only it will be considered to be a package. Next, how can we use is from package name import module name, from package name import module name, that is the syntax. Okay, now in a package how many modules we can have? Any number of modules we can have. Okay, suppose I wanted to use all the modules. Okay, instead of writing from mathematic import to tri, import sci, import so and so, import so and so, all the things we can use from mathematic import. What is the package module name that we wanted to use? tri, sci, all these we wanted to use, so you can specify star. So all the modules will be imported. You can use all the modules directly. Understand? As we have seen earlier, any AC is on. Suppose if you want to use, as we have discussed earlier, math.sqrt we have to use, but we don't want to use math dot every time. What we did? How we have imported? From math import sqrt. Okay, similarly here also let us say that tri will contain some function called f. F is the function name. Inside that tri.py. Okay, now we wanted to use that particular function. Okay, how we have to use in general? Mathematic.tri.f, like that we have to use mathematic.tri.f or tri.f, as we have imported directly from math. Okay, but if you wanted to use directly f only, then we can specify here from mathematic dot tri. From mathematic dot tri we wanted to import f, then you can use directly f. Understand? So this is the this is about a package. How can we create a package and how can we import and use it? Okay, just you from mathematic dot tra dot star, then what you are importing? Importing is the main thing, right? All the functions means you can use here import here it is what you call, yes, it is like actual functionality that we want is import only. Okay, this is additional thing on top of this import functionality. We are proposing that from this you import. Understand? But this is not having exclusive functionality, but it is having the functionality. Understand? Importing is the actual functionality that we are trying to do. But from mathematic dot tri dot star means we are not doing anything. Is it containing anything? Understand the difference? Of course, in Java that import will be there. There you can use star. Import package name dot star you can use, then all will come. But here import is here. That's why, yeah. I hope you understand this package concept. Okay, you try to execute these programs in the lab. Okay, then you will get idea. Over. Next, let us consider we are having a list of numbers. We are having a list of numbers. From those list, from that particular list, we wanted to take only even numbers. From those list, we wanted to take only even numbers, and we wanted to make a different list. Okay, this is the requirement. Can you able to do it? We did it already, I think. Yes or no? List of numbers will be given. You have to get all the even numbers, even some of the even numbers, some of the odd numbers, like this also we did. Okay, fine. Now, same thing we will be doing by defining a function, which will take one number, whether it is even or odd, then it will return true or false. If it is true, it will return. If it is even, then it will return true. If it is odd, it will return false. Like that, let us try to define a function. Okay, how can we define a function? DEF, then even or odd. So even odd is the function. Then what? Condition. Yeah, what's the condition? X. Okay, X we will be giving. So if X is Huh? No, we are giving one element at a time. Okay, just it is anonymous, what you call, independent function. Okay, even odd, so return true. Else, okay, this is the function. If you give one number, it will return either true or false based upon the even or odd. Okay, now let us consider we are having a list. Okay, we are having a list. Let us say L is equal to 5, 7, 8, 9, 12, 4, 3. Like this, we are having a list L. Now, by using that particular function, we wanted to eliminate some of the numbers which are not satisfying that condition. So, for that, we are having a function called filter. We are having a function called filter. So, filter is a function. So, filter of what we will give is whatever the function which we will use to validate. Whatever the function which we that function name only we will use. Function name. What is the function name? Even odd. That function name we will use, and on what list, whether it is list or tuple or a set, whatever the collection we have, that we can specify here. What is the list name? L. L is the list name. Then what it will do is, from this list, one element at a time we will take. Okay, it will take one element and it will validate against this. Okay, what it will return is, it will take collection as the input, collection as the output. Collection as the input, collection as the output. In that particular collection, whatever the filtered values we have, those only will be part. What? Yeah, here you see even odd. From L, what it will take? One element. So 5 it will take. It will apply this particular function. Okay. So even odd 5. What it will return? False. So it will not consider it. Next 7. It false. So it will not consider. 8. True. So it will consider that 8. Okay. In the resultant, it will consider 8. Next 9, it will not consider. Why? Because it returns false. Next 12. True. So it will consider. Next 4, it will consider. 3, false. So finally it will return some collection. Let us say this as L1. Okay, this is L2. Now we will try to print L2. So we are expecting that L2 will contain even numbers. Ready? Yeah. Only to get odd numbers, then you change there. This one not equal to 0, true, otherwise false. With this function only, if you want, that cannot be done directly. Just you give a try by putting here not, but it will not work. You give a try just here by putting not, most probably it will not work out. Yeah, that's what I have mentioned. Here we have to specify the function name. Okay, we need not make a function call. Filter itself will make a function call. Convert this as the function call by putting even odd, then it will take one number from it, then it will call. Understand? Yeah, write a question on top of it. Write a question, then you take it. Quiz. Okay. Okay. At 11:15, huh? Okay. You are also. Okay. Okay. You? Just to give company. What is the syllabus? Okay. 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 I think 1 o'clock, up to 1 o'clock you have exam, right? Okay. Then we'll go to lab, we'll practice there. Okay, if possible, afternoon after coming, you intimate me. Once all assemble, then I will take some more time.